Hey, Fitzee here, back at it again with another one. Well, we're not back on the Toyota. Hate to disappoint you, but this has to do with the Toyota. I've got this car, been building this car now for over a year, and one thing about it that you're going to need when you're building cars like this here is going to need transportation. Like, I've bought a number of 4.8s that I'm going to put in this car, turbo it, and I'm going to have it in troubles with it, and I'm going to blow stuff up. I'm going to break stuff. This car needs to find a way to be moved around without worrying about it breaking down. I want to make a street car out of it. I want to drive it on the street. Love to be able to drive it to and from the track. But there's going to be times when this car is going to be, okay, I got to get this trailer at home. So the wise thing to do would be just to go out, find myself a nice car trailer, and go out and buy it. No, not Tony. No, I got to go make another project. Projects? As if I haven't got enough projects now as it is. Anyway, stick around. Well, what do we have here? This here is another project of mine. I picked this up about a month ago, and my whole intentions for this is to actually make a trailer out of it. I need a car trailer to haul the Toyota on, and it'd be nice to have something to haul the side-by-side on as well. I've been looking for one of these now for well over a year. I've been checking them out. What you see here, the remains of a 30-foot travel trailer frame, okay? I managed to find one that had all the camper removed and all the bits that I need are on it, okay? The biggest problem I was thinking about, I was going to have to go out and buy. You can go out and you can pick up a trailer, an old damaged trailer for $1,000, $800, that type of thing. But then you got to dismantle it and dispose of everything, and it's a lot of labor to do that. So I said, if I can come across a good frame with all the bits and pieces on it, I'll go that route. Looking at some stickers and everything on it, looks to be about a 13, somewhere around there, 2013 camper, whatever's on the go, and it's what they call an I-beam frame. You can get box channel frames and I-beam usually, or C-channel ones. I'm not fussy on the box frames because the frames are very, very thin. Chassis in these are pretty heavy. Okay, it looks to be about 1/8 thick, the frame in this, and it's nice and long. It's got 2 1/4, I think it is, ball that goes on the front. There's a big ball that goes on it. It's got a bunch of these cross members in it. They weren't built very strong. Okay, I'm going to replace these cross members. This one here is bent, and if you look down here, the frame is actually pulled in there. So I got to open that up. I'm putting a cross member right where this tongue is to. I have lots of plans for this. The big thing is here now is I want to get started on it. We've had rain here now for a month. That's the easiest way to put it. And I got to build this out by the door. This is the first day we've never had rain during the week that I can actually come out and work on this, okay? So what I got here is like, all they did is they just chopped the end of it off. There was I think this here is 11 feet. They cut off the back of it, off the back of this rig. Don't mind the van. But you can see it's damaged over there. This axle assembly has to be moved up here, okay? I've after measuring up a friend of mine's trailer, and the measurements of his trailer come back to about 16 feet, the overall length. Now you can go to hell with it and build it nice and long and everything, but I want this half compact. I want for the car to fit on it, the side by side to fit on it, and then probably if I need to like haul lumber or something like that, I can put that on, or steel, I can put that on as well. I don't need to have this too long. Biggest thing with these camper trailers is they're not as wide as a car trailer, okay? It doesn't matter to me because the Toyota's only narrow anyway, okay? These are a little bit narrow. It's not a full 7-foot or a full 8-foot deck on them. It's 7 feet, I think it is. And I have plans for how I'm going to make it a little bit tiny bit bigger, just so I can, build it so that it's got a little bit more room in it. The plan is here today. I've got to get this situated up. I must get this axle out of it. I want to get the back of the frame chopped off. That's my whole goals with this here. I want to get it set up so that I can actually do the work on it. I intend to flip these axles. Right now the spring is here underneath the bottom of the spring. I want to flip it over and put it on top of the spring to lower it down, because these here sat really high. Okay, and I want to strip all the wiring, everything off it, and I want to cut these down. This is one of the things I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these down as well. So there'll be a lot of just me hacking everything up here today, getting pieces straightened away, just so I got a platform to start with. Picked up a load of this C channel. I'm going to use these for cross members. They're pretty stout. Oh, starting to rain again. I'm trying to do this without it raining, right? But not supposed to rain today. And if you look up in that sky, don't look healthy, does it? Dark clouds everywhere. So I'll play it by ear, see what I can get done. I'm trying to do this out by the door because it won't fit in the garage. But anyway, this is what I'm going to put in for cross members. I have ideas of where all these are going to go. So here's where I'm to. I went ahead and I just got 4 tires, a few blocks of wood, blocked up the frame there so I can get the wheels and everything off it. It's sturdy there. I've already checked it and whatever. But I got the wheels hauled off it, and I got all the wiring harness stripped out of it. It was complete harnessed. Everything was there for the side light, marker lights, electric brakes, all the wiring back through her. That's another thing, these axles got electric brakes on them. And all looks in really good shape, right? Especially here on the island, like to see this type of rust. This is minor, okay? This is very slight, nothing serious to that. I've seen it to the point that that's flaking, so that is mint, okay? What I'm gonna do here before it goes any further, storage van. I'm gonna turn around, take all this stuff, taillights head mocked up on it, the wiring harnessed, and tires, put them in the van. Well, I made short order of that. Everything unbolted, right nice. There was nothing seized up. Once you got it cracked, pretty well almost spun off with your fingers. It came apart really nice. Amazed at how good a shape this is in. So now I got this all stripped off. Now I can actually, I'll get all this stuff stored away so it's out of my hair. I think I'm just going to lay the axles up on the frame right here for now, because I got to do work on them, and they'll be anywhere else I think to be in the way. So or I might just move my head for here, up to here for now, because I got to cut this off right here. Amazing shape they're in, look. They're like brand new there. And I got all that put away. So the axles weren't that bad, so I laid them up on top here to get them up off the ground, just in case we had any bad weather or anything. I could still work on them. Good spot to work on them there. I actually got to weld these here. I got to flip them. These axles are set up this way here. And I got to put this perch on this side of the axle, because these here are a bowed axle for weight, so you can't just flip the axle upside down. It's not a straight piece of pipe, so you got to weld another perch back on the side here. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to cut everything off of this I don't need, okay? All the plasma cutter back here now. I got all the hangers and everything figured out. This here is 16 feet. From there to here, 16 feet. And to me, 16 feet is more than long enough. I can make it a bit longer, but the trailer is narrower. And I measured up a buddy of mine's trailer, and the deck itself is less than 16 feet. So I'm just going to hack it off right here for now. I want to cut out these perches. Cut that one out. Cut that one out. Just remove this section here. Cut that piece of angle iron out of the way. What I'm doing here now is these here got these stands sticking off the sides of it. I've had to straighten up a few of them, measure them up. I'm going to be cutting them so they're 2 inches sticking out. I'm going to cut all the rest of it off, get it out of my way, because I'm going to put a perimeter frame around the outside edge of this here in steel, and I want to have something that I can actually lay it on to weld to. So that's what the purpose behind these are. Up here in front, I'm going to just cut this cross member that's damaged out of the way, get this out of my way so I can actually start putting a piece in here, because my plan is, you can see the way this front tongue is set up here now. I'm going to move this up inside the frame rail so it comes out this way. So all this entire front will be changed, and I'm putting a cross member right here where the tongue comes up. I'm going to put a cross member there and have that so it butts into the cross member itself, and it'll weld on there and it'll weld inside there, and then I'll extend these sections here and put a piece across there. But I'm not doing that today. All I'm going to do here today now is just cut everything up and get this thing limbed apart. And there you have it. Made short order of that. Got a mess here to clean up. I got down, all them pieces are all cut off here. Got it cut off about 2 inches out. And then of course, and I just lopped off the back end of it. I'm going to be putting another cross member in there later on, different than what's there. I just want to leave that there now for support. I got the 2 frame rails all chopped out of it. But here you go. That's the makings of a car trailer there now. All cleaned up, everything's put away, and it's all ready now for the next stage of the build. So, it's been a few weeks now. We've had a lot of rain, and I'm doing this out by the door, so I've been just waiting for a decent day to get to go back at this again. My whole plan with this is I want to get it rolling again, and I like to get the main like everything done that got to be done, the heavier stuff. I'm not going to worry about decking it over, framing it out, or anything like that. I just like to get the axles and everything back in the thing. Quite possibly get the dovetail put on it, get that cut and bent and welded. I'm not going to worry about that right off the bat today. All I'm worried about is getting the axles in them. What I got to do, as you can see back here, there was the original hangers that were back here, and I cut the other one off here. That was right here. I just chopped it off and I got it all in pieces, and I got to cut that one off there. I got to move them up to here. I went and got some measurements off a friend's trailer, and from the center up between the 2 axles where the center pivot point is 99 inches. So I based it off of his deck was like 16 feet, and he gave me a bunch of measurements, and I'm just going to wing it off of that. Okay, so what I got to do is I got to get these brackets cleaned up, and then get them positioned here so they're the same on both sides here, and get them welded on, and get the front ones welded on so I get the springs back in it. Then also what I got to do is where I'm flipping the axles, these have a bow in them for weight. They're not perfectly straight axles, so I just can't flip the axle upside down. So what I got to do is I got to weld another spring perch on the top side here, so when I flips the axle over, it's going to sit properly, and it'll have the proper bow in it, right? Like, I want to get them brackets out now and start cleaning them up. You may be wondering how cold it is here. It's a beautiful day. Sun shining, clear skies. I haven't seen this in a while. 0 degrees Celsius, about 32 Fahrenheit. Let's get started on this. So here's the brackets. And I just chopped them off with the plasma cutter. What I need to do now is I need to remove this section off, and they're welded on. I need to cut, I got 4 of them here, there's still 2 on the car. Once I get these cut out and figures out how to cut them off, I'll know how to cut the one off the back of the trailer itself to make life a lot easier. I'm going to go through, I'm just going to get my grinder now. I'm not going to do and use plasma cutter on these. I'm going to take the cutting wheel and start cutting these up and see what I can come up with. See how hard they are to get that piece off the top before going any further. You can probably go out and buy a set, but I'm working with what I got here. I'm just reusing everything I got, and we're going to go from there. So I'll get that cut up there now. Wasn't that bad to cut off. Oh, it's still warm. I just cut them on an angle through all them sections there, and then just tapped it with a hammer, broke it off. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'll go ahead now and get the other 3 straightened away, and I can go out and work on the one out the driveway. So that didn't take long, probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, cleaning all them up, getting them ready. What I got to do now is I got to go out and set myself up and cut the 2 off the trailer itself. So let's go out and do that now. Oh, the fun's going to begin now, up in the cold. Now I got them all cut off, I got them all here. What I'm going to do next is give them a cleaning up. There's a lot of rust on these. I'm going to kick up a lot of dust in their shop. I'm going to take these now and just go out on the tailboard of my truck and do it all up on the door. That's it for them. I got them cleaned up. It's good enough for me. Okay, I'm not too concerned about it. All I got is a nice clean metal. We're going to weld it back on. I'm good. They're solid. Just a bit of surface rust on them. I don't mind that. Okay, so I got all them ready. Next thing I got to do now is I got to go over here and start cleaning up the sections and marking out where I'm going to weld them on. So here's where I'm to. On my buddy's trailer, I got him to measure from the front of his rail back to the middle of the 2 axles. The middle of the 2 axles was 99 inches. This is this point here. So I took this piece of channel and laid on top of it. It's a bit of weight to it. This here, from here to the nose of this here is 99 inches. What I did then is I also measured over there. Measured it up the same thing over from there to there. I got 99 inches. Then I done an X pattern through here just to verify that it's pretty close. Now that I got this here position, this here is the center line. I have an axle here and an axle here. This is where the center will be. So what I'm doing here now is, what I did is I got the center line, the bracket clamped in place there, and the center line of this here is 99 inches. That's all I did. I took my square and I laid it in there and let it come down, made sure it was in the center of the hole. That's 99 inches to there, so that is my center there. So I got that one laid in place, and that one that one there is mounted in place. I'm happy with her too. They're centered. 2 of them are in the same location. What I'm going to do here now is weld them in. So here's what I got. This is probably, I think, was one of the cheapest welders you can get at the time from Simner. They sent me this one here. It's a gasless MIG, they calls it. But what it is, it's a flux core welder. You can arc weld with it, and it says you can do lift TIG, but you got to hook up a bottle of gas to it separate again. All I got it for was the flux core itself. I'm out here where the door days, windy, whatnot, so this is the right stuff for this here. But what I got done with it is I got it plugged in to 220. It comes with a little adapter. You can plug it in and 220. And I've done that because running them on an extension cord on 110, they really have no power. And I want to get as much power because I got this here plugged in the garage and run out through the big doors, coming out this way here, so I can weld this up. So I got two of them welded in, got the flux cleaned off them. My flux core is a little bit rusty, but I'm getting better at it as I'm playing with it. Played around with settings on it. I got it turned down to around 125, 124, say 125. And because 130 was burning up the rail. Now, a couple of things I want to address here now. I'm putting this together so I can make a roller out of it. Later on, I'm going to be putting plates in here to reinforce this section right where the hinges to, because I noticed on the back there were some cracks in it, so I want to plate this section up here where the spring mounts are to. Also, I can change the height of it. I could probably re-drill these up here and lower it another couple of inches or an inch or two if I want to do it that way, but for now I'm going to put it together the way it was originally. I'm just going to flip the axles and bolt it together and see where it's to, and if I want to lower it anymore I still can. But the main thing is I'm going to do here now is I got that one in place. I got the measurements that I took of it before I cut it off the back. I'm going to set up another piece of this beam here now and do the same process here for the back shackle. So I got another one welded on there, another one welded on there. It's getting dark out, the sun is setting here now, so I'm going to continue on, see if I can get these front ones here mounted and put in place. All I was doing is I knew where my center was to, and I had a measurement from there back. I wrote them down before I took it all apart, and I think it was 27 and 13/16. So I'm going to do the same thing up here now and get that one welded on. So it's now the next day. I'm out here now. I stayed out late last night and got them all welded in. I went and threw some paint on them, tried to save them. But I got all them done. They're all welded in place there now. The other side is done as well. Okay. So what I need to do now is I got to set this up for the axles. I got to get these done now. I got to weld purchase on this side of the axles, clean all this area up here and weld it up, and I gotta find some way of protecting the wires that are runs with this so they don't melt. So let's get that all figured out. So here's where I'm to now. I got everything out here set up. What it is on these axles here, there is a bend in the axle for strain, so when you put weight on the car, the axle will actually bend straight, and they got the pads on this side here. Now you can simply just flip the axle like it is here now, but like I said, the bend is on the axle and it's supposed to be the other way. The curvature is supposed to be upwards like this, so when you put weight on the car, you basically over exaggerating, your wheels are like this on the side, so when you put weight in it, it'll actually do this to the actual axle itself. And that's the reason why there's a slight bend on the axle. A lot of these axles you buy have pads top and bottom. Now this pad here is for under the axle. So this here pad was originally this way on the car, underneath the axle, and mounted on top of it, or no, mounted this way underneath the spring is what it did. That's the way it was mounted. and I'm flipping it over and putting it on top of the spring. So what I need to do is I need to add a set of these on here. I picked up 4 of them there. I got to grind that up and fit that up. All I'm going to do here now is I just lay this on the frame, and just so happens it's pretty well at 0 degrees. Don't mind the 0.4 because like it's about a half a degree if that, and not too concerned about it. All I'm going to do is transfer that over to there. You can see that's 4, 3. Let's be fussy. There you go. Look. So we're pretty close there now, and I'll weld that on there, and that's all I'm going to do with that. I'll do that to all 4 of them, so I'm going to get them all cleaned up now and grinded up. Another issue I got is just wires running through this because there's electric brakes on it. I was going to try to find a way to pull the wires out of it. They seem very hard, so I'm going to replace them, so I'm not going to be concerned about melting them. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all this welded up. So I got them all grinded up, ready to go, and I grinded off the edges here to, so I got something to clamp to for the ground, and I made sure it's sitting flat on the frame rail here, sitting up here. So then I'm getting ready to put these in them. Now, I bought these at Princess Auto, and the funny thing about them is they got the same part number on both of them. It's the same part number, but this one is different than this one, the cut on the back side. So it's different date of manufacturer, I'd say. You see what I got done up here now. You can see the difference in the 2 of them. This side here fits really nice. Okay, then you come over here on the axle. This one here, it's got a lot of play in it. This one here fits really nice, right? And what I'm doing here now is I'm going to clamp one of the good ones onto this one here, so I can come over here and make sure that it's centered, because I'll do it that way. And this one here will line up perfect. This one here got gaps on it right here. I'll just weld all that up, not too concerned about it. It was unusual though. You look at that, right? Same part number, and 2 of them were cut different. One's cut for a bigger size pipe. Well, I got this set up there now. I'll get this all positioned and get the angle of it right and everything, and get it tacked in place. Just cheap little ground clamp, you can see, you know. Not getting a very good clamp, but I'm going to have to replace that and put a better one on it. But that's to be expected for what they're worth. But it's working best kind. Look, I'm getting the knack of the flux core, playing around with it. Clean that up there now, get flux off it. But yeah, over here, that one cleaned up. I got all them all welded up there now. So now I'm just going to give them a clean up. Throw some paint on them, and then I think I'm going to bolt this all together here now, get the springs and everything back in it again, and lay it down just to see where it sits. So I got everything out here now. I'm going to need to replace the bushings in this here. I'm going to do all that later. I'm going to strip this apart again. The biggest thing with me now is I want to get this here mobile. We has any amount of snow, I want to be able to hook on this and be able to pull it out and put it somewhere. Right now I can't do it. And you talk about, well, just clean all this up and go ahead and paint it all now. No, it's too cold out here to do this. This is a summer job, okay? I'm looking to get this trailer, the framework done on this as much as I can get done before the winter comes on. I'll finish it in the spring, right, when it warms up, and I can get all this stuff and get it all painted up and cleaned up and replace all the bushings and whatnot. So I got all this here now. Let's get this all bolted back together. And there she is, all put together. It was a bit of fooling around. Apparently there was different lug nuts on that wheel over there, and I had to take a few lug nuts off the other wheels to make them bolt on. You got to make sure that these here are going up, because if they're pointed down this way, they're not going to come around. So I had to let all that go, set all that up again, re-bolt all that up again. mistakes were made. And then when I was putting it all together, I noticed over on this side here, this camper must have been in a bad accident, because over here I have the shackle, and I haven't even got it bolted on, but I don't know if you can really notice it there, but this is bent. This piece here, there's an actual bend in that. I don't know if you can look down through it there, and it's hard to see, but there's an actual bend. This here is actually tweaked in this way, so I got to get a new one of them. But I'm happy with the height of it. All right, I think that's pretty good there. By the time I put the car and everything on top of it, it's about up to my knees height, probably I'd say 24 inches high there. I could probably make it lower. That's why I was saying I can move these here, but I was concerned about the distance here on the frame rails, so I'm leaving all that just like it is. I got everything done here now that I'm going to get done. I shortened it. I cut 5 feet off the back of it. The actual deck of this bed now is actually 16 feet long. I moved the axles forward, and I'm thinking if I measured it up, it's a good 8 to 10 feet to the front spring hanger. The front spring hanger used to be right here. And I got it all moved ahead, and I also flipped the axles. There's a lot more to be done with this trailer. I'm putting a dovetail back here. This is going to drop down here. Up here in front, I'm going to relocate this front hitch setup and move it up inside the frame, so the top of it here will be up here. That'll raise this all up 6 inches, because right now that's extremely low for that height there. I might want to lower this a bit more later, but I think I'm pretty content with that height there. I'm also putting a perimeter frame all the way around this here as well, in steel, to give it something, and of course the top is going to be decked over boards. I got a couple ideas also with some sort of storage boxes up front, and interesting ramp ideas for the back of it here, because I want to have a place to store ramps, and I want to have a simple ramp mechanism that I can have for a car, and then I can move it over for the side-by-side, okay? Because I'm going to use this also for the side-by-side itself. But the weather's hit or miss around here, and I got a lot of stuff to be at, and the biggest thing with this for me was I had to get it rolling again, because I had it all cut up and it was really too long for storage. Now I can take it and I can move it around and stick it in the yard and whatever, and I can work on it some more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this one here, and when I get back at it again, we'll do some more work on it. Anyway, it's a bit of a different project, but it's something, again, I can't leave things alone. I gotta go out and build everything. Anyway, I hope the tips were good, and until next time.